1 hour. 1 hour to turn an incredible idea into something real. I figured an hour would be enough time, right? You know when you have a brilliant idea and you're so sure that it is going to be amazing, and then it just doesn't work out? Before I even hit start on the timer, I was over ecstatic and electrified to do this piece. I had this feeling that I needed to get it on paper before the idea just floated away into the distance. But by the time the timer went off, I absolutely hated it and I felt like I wasted an hour of my life. So I closed my sketchbook and continued on with my day. Here's the thing. You know when something is nagging you, and regardless of what you do, you keep coming back to the point that you're trying to avoid. I went back and I decided to look at this terrible sketch. And I kept coming back and sitting and staring at it and looking at the line work and looking at the image. I started to wonder what I could have done differently or what I could take away from this that would make my next sketch better, or where I went wrong. Think about it. If you are like me, how many times have you actually sat and then discarded a sketch or like a little scribble that you did on a piece of paper because you just didn't like it? I have legitimately done it so many times where I've either ripped it out of my old sketchbooks, I've covered it up, I've even taken an eraser to it to the point where you can literally see a burn mark through the paper in order to eliminate this thing that I hate so much. Needless to say, I decided to attempt the drawing one more time. And you know what? That failed sketch became my roadmap. It showed me exactly what I needed to do and pointed me in the right direction. Let's rewind it back.
2 days prior.
But I feel like it just did, like in order for the story to make sense, it needed a little bit more. Then I also put like a fallen tree here that I'm gonna put in. I use the vanishing point. This is where the tree stump starts, and then from there, it gets bigger as it comes in. As you can see, it made a world of difference. But the problem is, this isn't just about that one sketch. Myself, as well as others, have discarded failed attempts countless times. You yourself probably have. But through all of these chain of events, I did take away one main lesson, a universal truth, a core principle, if you want to call it that, however way you want to slice that cake. But first, a little bit about the sketch, the seed of the idea, if you will. So this piece is set in a really messed up future after civilization has totally tanked and wiped itself out. We're talking like slow burn, collision, collapse kind of situation. At this point in time, enough time has passed that everything that's like human built is basically crumbling and being swallowed up by the earth. The only real sign that humans even existed are, besides the ruins, are these genetically twisted plants. Any kind of remaining humans that were on the earth are now living underneath the surface, in hiding with a few surviving animals. So that way, over time they'll be able to like resurface and so on and so forth. The plants though are programmed specifically just to kind of go wild and repopulate everything at a super fast pace. It's redoing the entire Earth's surface. So that way humans can live there again. Here's the cool part though. In this world of make-believe and magic in my brain, all the plants can talk to each other. They talk using like a Morse code, zeros and ones, and like bleeping lights, basically. And I based this off of a documentary that I saw a while ago about mushrooms and how underneath the ground mushrooms talk to themselves, sending electrical signals and currents to each other to tell them, where they are, and they communicate with each other. Whatever it is that mushrooms talk about. It's like, hey, Timmy, did you see that movie last week? Anyways, I decided to kind of do the same thing. So these plants, they just chit chat back and forth to each other. And basically they tell each other like, over by the West End, we need more plants and we need more seeds in order for it to grow. And they cultivate and communicate with each other as to what they need to do in order to achieve their never-ending goal. They also tell them how they need to change their DNA strand in order for them to survive. Because in the very background, you'll notice that the moon has exploded. Hence why all humans are underground. Yes, I have a very overactive imagination. We all do. Back to the main point. Okay. Jesus. This sketch came with so many difficulties. It did not want to exist in this world. I don't know why. I don't. But I was recording this during the week of the eclipse. If you believe in the hocus pocus of the lunar shiftings and the poles and horoscopes, it might explain as to what was happening, because I was filming this during the eclipse. Did anybody else get hit with the side effects of the red moon? Or was it just me? Because I swear, everything that could have gone wrong that day did go wrong. My audio got messed up with a new audio set too. Half of my recordings got erased. This originally was supposed to be like, do you guys remember drawing with waffles? Where's Waffles, by the way? Side note, bring her back. I would like to see her again. Thank you. Hours of entertainment, just anywho. Back to the topic. I tweaked my back at the gym first thing in the morning. I stubbed my toe. This continued until nightfall, and it was absolutely insane. It just kept going and going and going. But here we are, and we continue our sketch on day 2. Through all of that chain of events, though, that happened, it did make me realize something. To continue my ramble from earlier about wasted time, I feel as though, like those failed sketches, those frustrating moments can actually be incredibly valuable. They force you to adapt. They force you to make changes dramatically or learn from the mistakes that you've made. Like, it took me no time whatsoever to get this camera up and going this time compared to last, because of all the errors and coding problems that I had prior. And they really, really make you appreciate the times that things do go right. Which brings me back to your sketchbook. Here's my lesson. Treat it as a valuable resource, even when they contain sketches though that you don't initially like. The failed sketch attempt was not a waste of time. It was data. Get it? You get it? You get it? Get it? Plant data. Anyways, it's zeros and ones. It's the main core principle that I wanted to share with you today. Whether it's just ghost lines on a piece of paper that only you can manage to see what you were attempting to do, or a disproportionate face where one eyeball is bigger than the other, and not on purpose. It's a collection of information and ideas that can help you in the future. It's a timeline of your process, and it's a time capsule of the stories and the ideas that have yet to be told. It gives you the opportunity to learn from your mistakes so that way you don't repeat them again, and improve if you take a second to ask yourself, what can I learn from here? This is why a lot of the time, if you ever do see me working in my sketchbooks, there'll be little notes in there, just written out in my chicken scratch. No punctuations, just no punctuations, not caring about capitals, just a little sub-note of my thoughts during that time. I'll even write down little song lyrics if I need to. Something that will remind me for later of what I was working on. Sketchbooks aren't meant to be for those final pieces. Sometimes it just so happens that it works out that way and a final piece just, appears because you just kind of continue to work it. But they're meant for those horrible scribbles and scratches and errors, and they're meant for practice. So you know that page in your sketchbook that you don't particularly like, the one that you keep avoiding every single time you rifle through your sketchbook that you're working on right now? This is what I want you to do. Go to that page and look at the sketch that you absolutely don't like. And I want you to go and add to it. Scribble next to it. Look at it a different way. Flip the book upside down. What can you come up with? Don't erase it. Don't cover it up. Embrace it as if it's from a starting point. Maybe you'll be able to overlay it with a new idea. Maybe you'll take a look at the concept and think, you know what, this might have been better if I did it this way. Leave yourself a little bit of a side note for later if you ever do want to decide to redraw that figure again or that idea again. Make it into a collage, make it into a study. Who knows? It goes as far as your imagination will take you. And that's kind of the key, isn't it? To see potential while others see failure. To see potential when it's a banana taped to a wall. I don't know. To find inspiration in the unexpected. To trust the process and let it get messy if it gets messy. I do believe that is enough for me today. I will leave you with a close-up of my 1-hour sketch challenge. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more art. I don't want to call them tips. I'm going to call them rambles. I feel like it's not really tips. I'm not. Anyways, yeah. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, go touch paint. Bye.